My brother and I saw that last email that he had opened, and it said, "Your package has been delivered."
Shelby Cooper's brother, Ryan, overdosed on pills she says he bought with crypto on the dark web.
You're playing with fire.
Ryan's mom says the fentanyl was delivered right to their mailbox.
Why is the U.S. mail so much more attractive to drug traffickers than other shipping entities?
We've learned the amount of synthetic opioids seized from the U.S. mail has increased tenfold in the past 5 years. So what's being done to stop it?
We're in a state of crisis, and something needs to change.
Let's see what's brewing. Hi, I'm Jenna Bourne, and I'm an investigative reporter at 10 Tampa Bay. If you're new here, welcome to our caffeine-fueled deep dive into issues that matter to you.
Why did you want to meet out here? What's so special about this place?
Well, for years and years, Ryan played soccer at these fields. I'm talking from the time he was probably 6. So these have a lot of special memories for us. One game, he had scored 3 goals.
Yeah.
He was so proud of himself
Like
after
real
that
jazzed
game.
up, yeah.
These are the memories that you want to think about when you think of him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And him healthy and active and happy and doing things he loved, like sports.
What has life been like without him?
Pretty much like the worst pain imaginable.
I found him, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yes. When I came home from work that day, his dog was downstairs, and I see that he had gone to the bathroom on the floor, and I'm like, Ryan, why did you let Levi out? And so I was hollering, Ryan, I'm home, and no answer, and then I didn't want to walk upstairs because I knew something wasn't right. And I went up, and when I went around the corner, there he was on the floor right outside of our bathroom.
How did Ryan get the drugs that killed him?
He ordered them through the dark web. They would come through the U.S. Postal Service right to our house.
And what did he think he was getting?
So he ordered something similar to Xanax, and it was laced with fentanyl without him knowing, obviously. And we were able to get into his computer. My brother and I saw that last email that he had opened, and it said, "Your package has been delivered."
Ryan Cooper was one of 5,791 Floridians who died from a fentanyl overdose in 2021, the deadliest year yet. We're still waiting on 2022 overdose numbers. And as overdoses skyrocket, we want to know how opioids like fentanyl are getting into the U.S. My colleague Jennifer Titus went to the U.S.-Mexico border a few months ago and met with U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers to see what they call multi-energy portal machines. That might sound like some sci-fi gadget from Doctor Who, but no, they're very real. And they're kind of like what your bag goes through at the airport, but for trucks.
We need something that can penetrate the steel so we can look inside. Refrigerated, frozen commodities is another one. So this high energy, we can actually see what's inside.
But in 2019, the White House's Office of National Drug Control Policy identified the U.S. mail as the most common distribution medium for fentanyl entering the U.S. and moving domestically to its end users.
The chemicals are derived from China, shipped into Mexico, where the laboratories are then producing what we see as straight fentanyl powder, and or a lot of what we're starting to see are pressed pills. We see them come from areas along the border because it's easily brought into the United States from across the U.S. border and then shipped throughout the United States.
It's literally needles in the haystack that we're looking for.
We asked U.S. Postal Inspector Damian Crable to weigh in. He's based in Tampa and investigates crimes involving the mail.
Why is the U.S. mail so much more attractive to drug traffickers than other shipping entities?
We're seeing a trend away from the U.S. mail being a source for foreign influx. That's not to say that it isn't present in domestic mail. One obvious reason why the U.S. mail might be more satisfying or more helpful for drug traffickers is if I want to open a package, I need, and you're a drug dealer who has put this in the mail, and you don't want me to open that package, I need to go to a federal judge and convince them to issue a search warrant.
U.S. Postal Inspection Service data shows synthetic opioids like fentanyl seized from the U.S. mail increased tenfold in the past 5 years.
While it's possible that an increase in that could be due to something like an increase in volume of those things in the mail, much of it is also going to be attributed to us getting better at finding them and intercepting them. And I can certainly tell you, in my time with the agency, we have gotten better at it.
We're talking an increase from 211 pounds in fiscal year 2017 to 2,124 pounds in fiscal year 2022. That's about the same weight as a walrus or a polar bear or the Liberty Bell. And since the DEA says just 2 milligrams of fentanyl could kill someone, 2,124 pounds of fentanyl is enough to kill more than 481 million people. That's more than the entire U.S. population, which is wild.
What procedures are in place right now for inspecting the mail that's coming in? How thoroughly are these packages being inspected?
One of the things this family wanted to know is how are illicit drugs detected in the U.S. mail? What's being done to stop this?
It's a horrible tragedy, of course, and I'm very sad to hear. Because I'm a federal law enforcement agent working for a federal law enforcement agency, we don't want to share too much about the ways that we go about conducting our investigations because it would obviously have a negative impact on future investigations. But she and everybody can rest assured that we have many tools in our arsenal, some that I can generally talk about. We have a pretty robust and ever more robust intelligence and analytics arm that looks at historical trends, current trends, data from many sources, including partner agencies and work that they do that helps us target packages. And we combine that with information that we may be aware of locally to take a closer look at certain things.
This U.S. Postal Service strategy document says the Postal Inspection Service created a nationwide task force officer program during fiscal year 2020. Those task force officers are typically state and local police officers embedded with postal inspectors, providing access to local police intelligence. And that strategy document says postal inspectors now use these handheld narcotic analyzers, which allow inspectors to scan for more than 450 controlled substances without touching them. Data we crunched from the USPS Office of the Inspector General shows it opened 1,224 narcotics investigations between 2017 and 2022. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, that included an investigation that led to 2 Tampa Bay area men serving prison time. The DOJ says they mostly used the U.S. mail to ship counterfeit oxycodone pills from Clearwater and Seminole to Boston. The department says the traffickers ordered the fentanyl and pill presses from China.
What we do see is a pretty large market for fentanyl precursors. And fentanyl precursors are, of course, the raw materials that go in to these products that are usually shipped to a manufacturer in, for example, Mexico or Canada, et cetera, and then is transshipped into the United States.
UC San Diego professor Dr. Timothy Mackey and his company S3 Research used funding from the National Institute on Drug Abuse to create technology that scans different parts of the internet for illicit drug sales. Mackey says traffickers use tactics to evade detection, like printing labels on their own instead of at a retail location, or using fake return addresses. He tells us the U.S. Postal Service is what his team sees the most frequently in posts about packaging and shipping.
We not only see what they're shipping with, they also often provide evidence that they've shipped something. So, and that's because, you know, a lot of buyers are concerned about scammers, are concerned about people ripping them off.
The importance level of inspecting the mail coming in, you can't really put a price on it or a level on it, because if you were to ask someone how important is it that your loved one is alive right now, that is how important it is that we are checking these packages.
What would you say to other Ryans out there right now who are ordering drugs online?
I would say you're playing with fire. You just don't know what's in there, so it's not worth the risk.
If you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, we have resources for you in the video notes below. Thanks for watching What's Brewing. Subscribe to 10 Tampa Bay's channel and add the What's Brewing playlist to your library so you don't miss an episode. And I'll see you next time.